Thanks, Alchemy. Cheers for the shout out. Ooh, mic is hot. Sorry about that. Cool. I'm curious where everyone is hailing from. What time zone you're in. It is almost 1 in the afternoon for me over here. Just getting Reaper going. Reaper's going, sweet. Have a good sleep, dude. Well, have good food and then sleep. My shit together. Let me know if everything's working. Sound check. Yoku, what is up? Are my notifications broken? Because the other day I was streaming and I didn't hear. I was told someone subscribed and I had no idea. So I don't know if it's broken again. This is the tune that Alchemy was shouting out. want to let people in Discord know that the stream is happening. I think what I'm going to try and do is start with an empty project and basically just try and make something with only Kiloheart stuff, just because it's new to me. I want to get used to it all. I'm not gonna promise any freaking bangers. I have no idea what I'll end up making, but it's my day off and that means time to make music. Almost ready. Where did this dude's channel go? Promo there, that'll do. Okay. Let's close Discord. Let's close. No, let's not close OBS, that would be unwise. Cool. Welcome. Let's push working. Yes, I see MIDI. Cool. So, what I'm going to do today, I think. I'm getting frustrated with this template. So, I don't really want to throw it out. Also, I've got glare coming in. I'm using Reaper right now. This is Reaper 6.40. See if I've got any wiggle room to make the chat bigger, smaller. I have my chat behind the chat that you see. I have a chat. That should be good. Cool. The plan is, yeah. So basically, I've been using Reaper since I'd like first dabbled with it in version 3. I think I mixed a band when I was at college in like 2011 or 2010. For college, I'd like got some stems and mixed a band in it. And it was cool, but I used to have stuck MIDI notes whenever I tried to produce on it. And I don't know if it was a specific sound card related issue or what, but like it used to drive me crazy. So I never really took it seriously for music production until sometime around version 4, like 2014. 2015. I was working at a recording studio, and my boss like knew I was into production, and sometimes he would want some assistance doing music for an ad. So normally my work with him was on Pro Tools, doing like sound for picture, mixing documentaries and stuff. It was usually, for me, it was usually dialogue editing, sort of getting everything to a rough level, picking the microphones that don't suck if they'd recorded like multiple tracks of audio on set, and just like cleaning it up, denoising it, declipping, crossfading stuff, like making, because they would often, video editors will just chop, and there's like no crossfades a lot of the time. So you would actually get a project from the video editor. Wow, I've digressed. But yeah, basically you would get an AAF or OMF. It was like an exchangeable project file that the video editor would give us, so we'd get all the audio tracks from his video editing session. So yeah, most of the work was in Pro Tools, but now and again, like, and what would often happen is while I was doing the dialogue editing and stuff, my boss would be doing music work. Like, I'll never forget walking, and he was like on his couch, on his back, playing guitar, and I'm like, wow, man, this guy's living the life. While I'm doing like a lot of the editing, and then he would basically just review and like do a couple of hours on the mix, like at the end. And so that was a cool vibe, just as a learning experience. But he would make his music in Pro Tools, and the issue I had, because I didn't want to crack stuff, and I had a very slow MacBook Pro, like 2007 MacBook Pro. Hey Greedo, what's up, man? Welcome. And then, so basically I didn't have like any real plugins for Pro Tools. And the issue was, like in Pro Tools, you could do what I do in Reaper a lot, which is like I'll just find like a random kick. Cool. So like in Pro Tools, you could do the same thing. You can like sequence something as audio. You can do fades and stuff. So I would sequence like a kick pattern. Let's just loop a bar. And let's say I decide that's a crap kick, I want another kick. I can, in Reaper, I can select all of the things on that track just by double clicking on the track, like an empty space on the track. And I could just find another kick and go, used to be in this list, but it's now in a sub menu here. Use as replace media source. And now bam, I've got a different kick playing the same same pattern. And Pro Tools didn't let you do that. And so because I didn't have battery or any kind of a drum thing for Pro Tools, I would basically do any production work that I needed to do at the studio, I would do in Reaper, because I was an FL guy and I was on a MacBook Pro at work, so I didn't have FL. So I was kind of forced into Reaper by trying not to pirate stuff and having a really bad old laptop that didn't have much space for like cracks, even if I wanted them. And I also got pretty good at sampling. I had the demo for Serum, and I used to make a patch in the 5-minute window or however long it was, and like just render it. So I got pretty good at making stuff in Serum and like quickly sampling it, and then that was kind of my music production process when I didn't have FL. at the studio. Because I mean, someone comes to you and says, "Hey, can you do X, Y, Z?" and you're into music. You're like, "Of course." So I spent a lot of time like modding how it works and like adapting Reaper to work how I want it to work. So like I wouldn't necessarily hey, you just subbed. What is going on with the notification? For real, they're enabled. I don't know why they're not working, but thanks for the sub, dude. That is really awesome of you. I'm gonna check the chat on the stream. That didn't help. To make it smaller so I can see the whole thing. Where did this all start? Oh yeah, so that's how I got into Reaper, was kind of by necessity at the time. Doop, 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 doop. Yeah, it's okay. Maybe it doesn't tell you subscribers in the chat. I guess not. Thought the bot was supposed to do that. The bot was supposed to welcome people because I'm on a restream. I'm also switched streaming to Twitch, by the way. It's I'm just gonna drop it in the chat. Yeah, also on Twitch. Well, that's a restream thing. So yeah, the issue is I wouldn't always see subs and things because restream wouldn't tell me. So I think I had the bot doing it, but now everything seems to be broken. So hey ho, it is what it is. But yeah, the cool thing about Reaper is you can kind of mod it however you like. Like this is someone made an FL Studio theme. Check the mixer. It really looks like FL. Granted, I don't need it to be this freaking huge on the effects inserts and stuff, so I can do that. Long throw faders. Although it's such a compact mixer, this would actually work quite well, like docked. Reaper by default has the mixer in a dock. So like this is the dock, so you could have your mixer down here. I've got this set up for videos. Sometimes I do podcast and video editing. Beg your pardon. So the video would be here. I've got my sample library there. I can also close that individually. This is my monitoring chain. This is normally a floating window. You can dock it if you want. And the monitoring chain is global. So this loads as soon as you open Reaper. It's not specific to a project. You don't have to save it even. So I've got a few useful things in here. I've got a VU meter that I never use. I have a friend who's been persuading me. Stink. Shout out Stink. He's been trying to get me to use VU. I've got this isolate plugin, which just got it disabled. But yeah, you can like mute and solo different bands, different frequency bands. So it's handy when you're referencing tracks. Like I've got a reference track that goes straight to the monitoring chain. It goes straight to my output instead of to the master. So if I've got like a bunch of limiting and stuff happening on the master, the reference track, I drag tracks on there and I'm hearing it without any processing. And then I could solo like just the lows and I could compare the sub on like my tune versus a reference. And like I find that super useful for just listening to like where does a song get its loudness, and like you can sort of solo these bands and be like, wow, that's much louder than mine, or you know, it's just another way to. And also you can hear the stereo image of stuff in a reference, like that. Like if I just pull in a tune of mine, so we don't get. I don't really care about the DMC stuff, to be honest. YouTube generally doesn't take down the video unless it's specific labels. But I've done DJ streams on my other channel, and very seldom did I have one that was blocked. And if I did, I would just download the VOD, edit out the offending song that was blocked, and continue about my day. Let's just see. I did some weird routing to this the other day. Don't need that. So like this, you could like solo the lows and then A/B it with whatever else you're doing. And you can hear the stereo width and stuff really clearly for a specific frequency range. I just find it super handy. You can also mute sections, see what it would sound like on a rubbishy speaker. Yep, that sounds a bit like my phone. My phone does have high end though. Then I've got span. It's just, I normally have span like that, like across the whole window. And this is the side information, and this is the mids. So it's useful just to see that your low end is bypassed. Yeah. So that's one thing I like about Reaper is the monitoring chain that's global. I find it super handy for referencing and all that sort of stuff that you don't necessarily need to load every time you open a project. And also like that 10 dB pad thing, I use this a lot for listening to mastered tracks and I don't want to like bust my ears out. And it's handy also, like if I'm on Discord or something in a call and people are speaking and I want the music to be soft, I can just turn it down here. And it's not on the master, so if I render the file, I don't need to be like, oh crap, I must remember to switch off all the monitoring stuff, because it doesn't get rendered. So yeah, that's one of the things I like about Reaper. Another thing I like about it is your action list. This is like literally pretty much every function that you can do inside Reaper has an action. You can download scripts. There's a thing called repack where you can install like packs of scripts that do even more stuff. You can also create combinations of actions. So if you go new action, you can like new custom action. It's the same thing, but you can stack them. You can even make cycle actions using SWS thing. So you can like make a key and you can assign keyboard shortcuts to them over here. So like if I search a shortcut, Shift S is my track solo shortcut. Stole that from Pro Tools. So yeah, like you can pretty much you can also in mouse modifiers, you can change what your mouse clicks do. Context specific, like if you're on your on a media item, top half of a media item, bottom half of a media item. What happens if you control drag, shift drag, all that sort of stuff. So I have a friend who basically made it work just like FL. I haven't personally. I've stolen like shortcuts from everywhere. I've got like some live things, some Reason things, even some Pro Tools things, just like stuff that I liked and wanted to be able to use every day as shortcuts. But yeah, I know someone who made it work exactly like FL. The piano rolls, like, I don't know, it's a bit contentious. Some people don't like the piano roll. Like, I don't have any issues with it. I've also got shortcuts to change my grid. I've got like bars, quarter notes, eighth notes, 16th notes, and it also toggles swing. And you can actually swing the grid. I wish all DAWs did this. Like, why do we have to do it without seeing what's happening, you know? The groove pool type things. You don't actually see it unless you commit it. And even then, you can't snap to it. I don't know why this isn't a standard. Reaper, you can also type in grid lengths. Let's go like 8, so I've just switched off. It's gone just straight. But like, you can actually type in here. So if I want 1 over 5, now I've split my bar into fifths. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Maybe I want each of these to be subdivided again. I could go like 1 over 20. So yeah, you can go completely nuts with the grid. You've also got scale lock, key snap. So I could go like this. It's like, I know my scales, but it does become really handy if you want to transpose. Like, let's say I've got a minor 7th, and then I've got whatever that is, and now I want to transpose them. It's super handy to just be able to like move chords around and have them snap to your key. Yeah, scripting is powerful, but it's not something I've delved that deeply into. I feel like I got things to a point that I was happy with, and I've not been modding it very much since then, at least in a couple of years. So yeah, the scale lock, we've had it since before live, just saying, and FL still doesn't have anything like that as far as I know, and everyone raves about their piano roll. I've also got this little guy, so let's say I want some of these velocities changed. This is a little scripted thing. For some reason, I think there is a shortcut to do like ramps on just the selected notes. It's like some sort of key combination. But this tool is kind of handy because you can like scale your ramps and stuff. Now we've kind of inverted it. I think you can, there's a few other things you can do with this. So yeah, if you don't have a native tool that does what you want, there are probably scripts that can do what you want. Also, by default, there's like a line across it for the velocity, and you can drag the velocity lines. I personally found it redundant because I've got if I hold control, it's a modifier that I may have created myself, which is just changing the velocity when I hold that control. So I didn't need the line, and you can just switch it off somewhere in the view list. There's so much you can do. You can make it like, I've got one piano roll per project. By default, I think if you have multiple clips, it'll give you 2 different piano rolls, and I found that crazy confusing. So there's all the things that you have an issue with in Reaper are solvable. The scrolling, I've changed the scroll behavior to however I like it to scroll. You do have to do it per window, but yeah, so it's like, the thing is, the amount of time I probably wasted customizing it pays off on the other end when my workflow is exactly as I'd like it to be. And it's just saved me many, many hours in the long run. The problem is some people will end up just making customizing and never actually making anything. I'm just going to load a project quickly. And just sort of see a track. What do you use, Greedo? Are you on Bitwig? There's a couple more things. You do have, it's like a bit buried, but Reaper does have like LFO modulation for parameters, so you could like parameter modulate something in a VST. It does also have random. It seems to kind of be frowned upon. Like, I don't know, some people frown upon it, I don't. Like, if you've spent a lot of time scripting, then sure. You know, some guys have made some pretty cool things. Oh, your Cubase, nice. Yeah, I think this is very much in that vein. Just the only thing with Reaper is you don't have stock instruments like Cubase's. So even a sampler, I don't use the stock sampler. I like the intro. This is actually a harp. It doesn't sound like a harp anymore, so I'm thinking of trying... thinking of duplicating this and using a piano. Because it's kind of sounded like a piano. Switch guy off and edit this one. Yeah, it's a harp, but it's... Whoa. Harp piano. That actually sounds better, to be honest, than the harp. See what the normal giant sounds like? Contact is so confusing. I think these notes need to be more sustained. Let's make sure which row I was on. That will be confusing down the line. I've got it so I can edit multiple clips. Maybe we just need a release. kind of want that sustained sort of sound. I also feel like this is overkill for what I'm trying to do. Let's just see. I almost prefer the harp. The harp sounding like a piano. It's actually quite nice. Let's use the cheap and cheerful mini grand and see. Like there's an ambient preset. This little red is a loading bar. Give that a moment. Fun fact, I'm running a 2014 i5 and 6 gigs of RAM, not even 8. Quite funny. I don't think I would be able to use FL. I've been trying the last couple of days. I tried to get back into FL and the CPU usage was just through the roof.